think we're ready to play some D&D if you're
some D and also
back.
Yeah.
I am.
Been a while.
Been a minute.
Yep.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, and last session sort of culminated in an hour-long discussion about the state of the world and what your new I guess associate / friend needed from you.
Right.
So to recap, you met Knight's Captain Alestri, and you brought her Rafander's note, and she read it, and she confided in you that Rafander had some concerns about his church, specifically, as I commented last time, in sort of Fox Muldery fashion. He thinks that there's sort of something like a conspiracy at the heart of his church, that in fact it may not even be a church to Demira at all, but may in fact have been corrupted or created by some other force. So Alestri, as her job as Knight's Captain, one of the things that she has to deal with is the fact that there is this sort of like Vatican-esque island nation in the center of the capital of the kingdom that she's responsible for the security of. That is the church. And if he's right, then, there's basically a viper at the heart of the kingdom, and she wants you to find out if he's just the fucking nutbag everybody thinks he is, or if there's something to this. She suggested, wow, that was a bit of a tongue twister for me and weird, but she suggested that on 5th day after services, which is about a day and a half from where we left off, the absolvers that are here in the capital will meet with the deacons of the church to discuss the business of the church. She thinks that if you can get eyes on that meeting in one way or another, that you'll find the likely suspects, if there is, some sort of shadowy power in the church. Failing that, she suggests that you might be able to break into a deacon's office or some other sort of like, backstage area of the church, and find some sort of evidence in that regard, though she seemed to suspect that they would be unlikely to keep that kind of evidence just lying around. With that, she also told you a little bit about the world around you. She told you about the ghost lands as she was discussing the sort of like steps along the path of a hero in this world. She mentioned that the Dark One was a power of a sort of like oracle that you could ask questions of, and if they were the right questions, the being known as the Dark One could simply only tell you the truth. But that he disappeared. I guess he is assuming a gender. But yeah, so it disappeared at the same time that a magical event called the Balefire occurred, which seemed to do something to the weave of magic in the area. Basically, where the weave once was in that area where magic used to be is now something akin to its opposite, and the whole area is sort of like chaotic and weird and strange now. So the likelihood of being able to consult that particular power is next to nil, she suggested. Another power that she suggested that you could speak to were the dwarves, but that they had fallen. And she talked a little bit about their god, who she suspects, if anyone has taken over Demira's church, would be the likely candidate as far as like, pantheon and mythology goes, being that he Essel's his name, that he is a god of like complications, as Jory pointed out last session, sort of the opposite of Ganesha.
Right.
Yeah, and then the other two powers were the elves and the gods themselves. which are really the last two that you could avail yourselves of. Among the steps of the heroes, though, she warns you about what she called the turn, where, some sort of recontextualization or transformation of circumstance happens to the heroes, and if they don't survive it, their path ends there. And she says, in fact, no hero that's been summoned to this world has survived their turn. Hey, could you turn your city down? It's very loud.
Sure enough. That's just the passerbys. Really, it's not that. I have it on full volume in my headphones, I thought.
Yeah, no, I have it at full volume in my headphones. It is pretty loud. It was. I just turned it down a little bit, and then you did too, so now it's like perfect.
Okay.
I'm not listening to your stream, though, so I don't know if I just
No.
your local mix. I apologize if I did.
No, actually, I have no idea how it sounds on stream, because I figure if it sounds good enough to me here, it sounds good enough there.
Right. Yeah, so, again, she warned you guys about the turn, but she says, supposedly heroes that survive the turn manage to master their fate and ultimately, make it to the climactic moment of their story. But again, that's never actually happened. I guess another thing that was important in that conversation is that she also mentioned that there used to be a different pantheon of gods 300 to 400 years ago. And that those gods, with the exception of perhaps the elves, are no longer followed. And the way that she said it stood out to you guys in a it's kind of weird that there's nothing left kind of way, right? Specifically, it's not like there's evidence that everybody was like, fuck those old gods and picked up new gods. There's just the new gods showed up and now there aren't old gods anymore, Yeah. And then finally, last but not least, she told you that basically she would, pretend that she had never heard or seen of you at all if any of you were to ever be captured, and that in fact she would ensure that you were put to death herself, just as a matter of safety, if that should happen. Then she said, so don't come back, we'll contact you, basically, and she assigned you guys a liaison, a woman named Roselle, who she described as the redhead that would be kicking everyone's ass. That's really all you know.
Roselle.
Well, I guess you guys did ask her species, and she is human.
Yeah, that's the note I have.
Didn't I step out of the room for all of that?
You did actually duck out towards the end, though we never actually decided what happened after that.
I'm pilfering.
Yeah, where you guys are, there isn't a lot worth pilfering. It's mostly ministerial.
There isn't like stuff on the walls like trophy swords or
No.
insignias, candelabras.
No, actually,
And-
specifically the guard that walked you to her office left at the earliest opportunity. She clearly didn't want to have anything to do with your guys' conversation.
Fine brass doorknobs.
No, I mean, when I say it's ministerial, I don't even mean that it's like a modern day office. What I mean is like it's austere, and it's where people do kind of like paperwork and things like that. Like basement of a college administration building. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing that you would want, but also not empty. Like people work here, so it's not likely that you'd be able to pilfer anything, beyond maybe like a pen or some ink or something.
A rubber stamp.
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. Nothing cool here, I guess.
about a magnifying glass.
Huh? Yeah, you might be
Actually-
able to find a magnifying glass. I could see that.
Okay. Magnify.
Any spell reagents, possibly?
Not likely.
Unless
Yeah,
that spell reagent
absolutely.
is like
It
dust.
right. No, right. Exactly. Yeah, or like a torn page from a book. Right. But no, I mean, you could probably find those things somewhere in the Hanging Citadel, but not where you are.
Gotcha.
If there's like a filing cabinet, can I roll like a D100 to see if I find something important just by flittering about papers? Or is it not even that kind of austere? Is it like people bring paperwork here in order to discuss over it and then leave?
Yeah, there's not a lot of like stored records here. That said, I mean there are cabinets in, what amounts to offices. I was going to call them cells, but maybe that's not fair. But like there are like cubes except made of fucking plaster and stone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there are, cabinets and tables and some have papers on them or in them for sure. I mean, if you really want to go rifle through stuff, first thing I would want from you is stealth roll.
I am the stealthy giant.
All right, yeah, this looks like you could probably pull something off.
Whoever said I was too big to be a thief was wrong.
Bugbears are huge and they're great thieves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Unless
drop
you make
me
it to the hole.
D100.
I'll drop you an equivalent.
Yeah, that'll work. That's fine. 52.
I got a 52.
What'll a 52 get you? Let's see. Yeah, you don't find anything like revelatory. Mostly it seems to be, things like port records, lots of like comings and goings of ships.
Ooh, anybody I could blackmail?
No, there's no like financial information or anything like that. Like it's literally like logs, this ship from this place pulled in here at this time. They left at this time, that kind of stuff. That said, from looking at it, you do get an interesting insight into the state of trade right now. It looks like most of the exports from the region right now are finished metal goods, which is interesting because there doesn't seem to be any sign of mining around here. Which means that the metals are probably coming in over land.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, I mean, it's also, if we're at war with demons, I'd hope that, finished metalworks is what we're trading in.
Right. Yeah. Specifically, most of the exports are things like hinges and not like nails, but like joining spikes and ratchet assemblies. Like what you would call medieval precision engineering.
Right. Making for war implements.
Right.
Siege towers, that kind of thing.
Where are these goods headed to?
Various places, though most of them seem to be heading to the Coral Kingdom.
Interesting. Are there any boats readily, like, last thing I'm looking up before I make my way wandering back to check if they're done talking about the boring stuff that they'll TLDR me on later. I want to check to see if there are any ships in port right now that either came from or are planning on going to the Coral. Or you just said it was comings and going, so I don't know if that kind of information would be there.
Yeah, well, you would get the latest comings that haven't gone. Wow, that's bad. Okay.
I like that. The latest comings that haven't
The latest comings that haven't gone. That's my new album.
But yeah, so for what it's worth, it does look like there are 3 ships from the Coral Kingdom in port. You don't necessarily have a record of where they're going, but they're here.
Well, you don't have to name them now or anything like that, but I'll keep those on mind just in case we to get to the Coral Court. I know of 3 boats going to or that came from the goal court, at least.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I'll just put that in my notes, and then I'll toodly-too and whistle my way back to the group
To the party.
nonchalantly.
Yeah. So, you managed to catch the last like 5 minutes or so where she talks about, don't call us, we'll call you. And look for this woman, Rizal.
Sweet Rizal.
Where are we
Did
supposed
she
to look for
mention where
Rizal?
we're? Yeah, I was
They'll
about to say.
come to us at the inn. You know, where we're
Right.
staying.
Exactly.
She'll be the one that's kicking everyone's ass.
No, she just looks like it.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe she will, but I don't know.
If that's her description, I really hope that she's not going to be in the arena.
Yeah, she might
Where's that
be.
going to go?
She might be.
Speaking of, so the question becomes, what are you guys gonna do next? Only two of the party are fighting, which leaves the other two not fighting, if I recall correctly.
I'm
Yes,
doing the greased hog thing.
right. That's the opener.
And then I want to say he's going to work as medic for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
I swear you should figure up some like magic candy thing that you can make in an instant.
I don't have that kind of time frame at all.
You don't have like sugar,
No.
water, and
No. I don't have any cooking materials on me right now.
How have you been cooking for us?
We haven't done any restocking. We haven't gone to a market. So we've been using what we were hunting and what I was gathering in the field to cook with.
Right, but you can't make candy with that exactly.
Not really. I mean, I
Conjure,
think I
like
have
sugar
some
from the air or something like that.
Wow, could you imagine?
Can you imagine if I could conjure hot sugar from the air, like caramel in,
Horrifying.
right? And
Molten
throw it at you.
molasses rain. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like damn, I would take that over
I
some
don't
other like
have
extant
that
weapons.
level of divinity or wizardry.
Let it rain hot.
Those are
syrup.
actually both things that I can do later
About,
on. I can actually coach you in candy.
God, that's
But that's
Wall,
manic.
wall of cotton candy level 2.
Wall of cotton candy. That's awesome.
Okay. I overestimated your ability to produce food on a whim.
Yeah, we're fancy and stuff, but like at this
I'm low
point,
level.
we're probably getting into like the malt syrups and stuff that I've been using for like cat medicine.
Right.
Yeah, we haven't done any restocking. Like literally, we got here, passed out, woke
If
up.
the medicine is good enough for a cat, it's good enough for me.
Likely, it's good enough for me anyway.
No, I mean, it's
What
a
about
cat.
this stuff here I've got called Tiger Mectin?
Oh God, that's a big cat. I unplugged my headphones, so I'm just going to talk randomly into the mic and make noise before I can hear something. So something important doesn't get said. I know it's dirt, but I'm going to do it, and now I can hear you again. There we go. I hope nothing
Anyways,
important got
Yeah,
said.
no, I have nothing I can work with right now. So I figure I'm just gonna go work in the inn, and you guys go have fun in the arena.
All right.
Because that's the safe option. Because the other option is I could go up to the temple and like wander around and use scouting type stuff, but I don't.
I like that too, but that's dangerous. Likewise, just like a passing thought, you could make connections with those who already sell shit in the arena or the Pugitorium, rather. It is technically called the Pugitorium. We've just been calling it arena.
Right.
Well, it
That's
is
right.
arena shaped, so
Yeah.
It is arena.
The
shaped.
likelihood of there's gonna be like grilled meat stalls, maybe.
Fisticuffs in the round.
Eh.
the ovoid in this case. But
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a few odds and ends on the cooking there, but they'll most likely have all of their crew and will most
Oh.
likely not be supportive of having some random schmuck walk over and be like, hey, you need an extra pair of hands for cooking?
Oh, good thoughts. Good thoughts. I hear you.
I mean, there are probably guilds in the city and shit.
Yeah, exactly, and I do not want to step on toes.
That's exactly what I want to do. Up
So
with the bourgeoisie.
So another option on the table is that we could resolve the arena stuff quickly,
Oh yeah.
mechanically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then we can move on to the church, if that's a thing that you guys want to do instead.
But
Oh, yeah.
I know Verde, Omi,
I'm
and
amenable.
we're looking forward to RPing that out. Like you all had talked about that the last time we played.
Oh, I'm amenable to a mechanical solution.
A mechanical solution with the theater of the mind is absolutely fun. Like they have an entire like thing set up for that. Like if Snuff Hunter did that, then okay, absolutely, let's go for it. But I mean, like, I'm down with doing that.
How many
mechanically so
rounds
we can
was it?
Get the story done.
Right. I erased my notes on my whiteboard from a few weeks ago that had how many rounds it was, but like it was.
It's the two of you plus 6 other people, so it's 3 rounds. That's how that bracket would work, right?
I think. I mean, that sounds fine. And, it's
Three,
2 die rolls. It seems
one.
like to me.
Yeah, that's 6 at most, right? And that's only if I'm fighting Jory at the end of it, and we're not fighting ourselves.
Were we fighting in the
At one
same
part.
class, same category?
Yeah, you guys are just fighting in the unarmed,
Gotcha,
basically
okay.
not in
Boxing
boxing, right?
Yeah.
The MMA.
Right. I'm a rabbit.
Pancreation.
Motherfuckers. I got the rabbit kick.
I'm only calling it pancreation to be a nerd.
Yeah.
Right on. But yeah, I mean we can do that as D&D combat, but that will take a long time.
That'll take a long fucking time, and there are other people in our party, and there's a story to be
Yeah.
done.
There's the story.
If the entire fucking party was there, maybe, but that's for a different day when they do group fights.
Okay, I just want to point out that I do have a map ready if you guys ever do want to do team sports or whatever. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, good story.
sweet.
That was actually part of the reason I was like, I know somebody actually heavily invested into the budgetorium, like made a map and everything.
All I see
I
is
did not
darkness,
know. Yeah, me too. All I see is darkness.
because my tile
guys-
is
Well,
there.
Oh, because you got awesome.
No LOS, sir.
That's great.
You could throw the party token in there. We could see it that way.
I think if I turn off the lighting, you guys can see it, right?
Maybe.
Maybe.
It says night right now.
The lighting did not change for you when I turned off the lighting. I take
Sure
it.
did
Nope.
not.
No. It's actually really trippy
okay.
seeing the grid go back and forth.
Okay, well, hold on a second. Keep the map open though.
Oh, that is nice.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
That is very nice, actually.
Yeah, this is not my map. I will not take credit for it. I did, however, set it up for fantasy grounds with line of sight and lighting and all that shit.
It looks good. Like, very
I
nice,
like
man.
it. I do.
Yeah, I got this map from Drive Through RPG. So plug to the independent artists who sell their shit there.
Hell yeah. Plug.
They did a good job. Like,
Right?
honestly, this one
I
can
thought
work
so.
on multiple different campaigns.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll get a ton of use out of this map. And in fact, there's a daytime variant for it as well. Because like I said, I just implemented the lighting.
Oh, dope.
Very cool.
So yeah. Anyway, there'll be plenty of opportunity in this campaign if we keep playing it for a fight night. So I am not at all upset if you guys don't want to fight tonight.
Yeah, maybe we could like set up something that happens. We are the party.
Yep, I even have rules for a D&D version of mean, ugly, dirty sports using a greased pig instead of a fish as the ball.
Nice.
Oh, well, shit. No, we do have to do the opener first.
That will take just as long, so we don't have to do that.
Yeah, I do also likewise kind of want to get the story
The
moving.
opener would pretty much just be rolling, I would say, 1d20 plus, or 1d10 plus 10 versus their 1d20 with disadvantage. Maybe based on
Isn't it like
athletics.
pig wrestling? Yeah. So it's a grapple check.
But what's happening basically is it's a disadvantage not only because of the grease, but I'd be using the dodge action.
Right.
So super duper difficult.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, I could do that. We could do that with a few rolls for the various participants because I have all 6 of them here. So
All right.
mechanics away, yeah. Let's get this going. I kind of want to know what's going on in the greater world too. Like this Pugitorium thing is just it's part of YOLO's master plan. Make a name for themselves, to be actual heroes, more than just as like a story that was told about them. But no, we're heroes in our own right. We do shit. We're passionate about stuff.
we do shit.
Winning the hearts and minds of an entire island with various different peoples and cultures is like winning the hearts and minds of a lover. You gotta show them that you're your own person. You can't just come plopping in here and say the great ones from back in the day said that we were chosen to be your heroes, brah. No, you gotta fucking play it up in the Pugitorium. Part of the job.
Yep.
Right, for sure. Hey, did that actually work? Did you see that roll?
Yeah.
I saw it.
I saw a roll. Mean, ugly, dirty sportsman, human copy. Skill
Roll.
athletics proficiency 21.
Okay. Finally figured out how to do that. It's only taken me, 3 years?
Cheers to that.
Here's
Huzzah.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Now let's see. Yeah, athletics was the right choice for her. Let's go for the halfling.
You want me to roll a separate one for each?
Oh, yes, sir.
All right. Good luck.
All right. Well, our halfling is definitely not built for strength. So his whole strategy is going to involve trying to trip you up using acrobatics.
Uh-huh.
Assuming I can actually grab the die.
So this is Neuro during the opening game, right?
Yeah, acting is the pig. Oh, he does not make it.
Neuro is acting as the pig. What did you like? Polymorph?
Yeah, wild shaped. Yeah.
Amazing. Are you getting paid for this?
no.
Well, he's got goodwill. Oof, I don't know, man.
Yeah, you getting caught, my friend.
They might.
Where's my? There we go. I keep expecting it to work like fucking. Oh man, I'm embarrassed. I keep clicking on it, going, why didn't it just roll?
Yeah, I understand.
Instead of
Ooh.
grabbing the dice and throwing
Ooh.
it. Yep,
Ooh,
that's a
That boy
miss.
tripping over himself. Him or her.
Yeah, she face planted, tried to tackle you. You probably shot out of her embrace, like a cannon out of a like a cannonball,
Oh yeah.
greased up and getting crushed by all that orc pressure, just shot right through the cleavage.
Yep.
Ooh, nice roll.
Oh yeah. So okay. Yep. I don't even. Well, let's see what happens. I'm pretty sure our other halfling is. Oh, only by 1 point. Amazing. I didn't think that she could do it at all, but she got close.
Pretty close.
Watch
So
that pig
that's-
dance.
1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 2 more. Got a
Nice.
good traction on this one.
Oh damn.
Chewing up the mud there with his trotters.
Oh damn. That's a catch.
You've been suplexed or swineplex.
Yep.
I have a pig sound effect ready to grab. I was stoked that I had the crowd.
17. Huh? All right, hold on. Who's left? Both the halflings have gone. Both the humans have gone? Question mark. Yep. So it's the other half orc. Hold on. Human, halfling,
I'm totally a human.
half orc, halfling, human. Yep. So it's half orc. Okay. Oh yeah, she might have you this one. Yep, for sure.
All right.
Not bad, not bad.
So that one was by 5 seconds. The looks like the first one was by 3 seconds. And the second to last one was by 4 seconds.
I see how you're calculating that, I guess.
Hold on, let me write these down.
Yeah, it's the differential between what they rolled and what the target was. Is how many seconds.
The interim between the shows, so the bards came out.
Okay, not bad, not bad. And successfully worked the crowd up for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that was a lot of fun to watch as a different sort of treat. Now the question, do we actually reveal that it wasn't a pig, or do I just kind of slink off and then, transform somewhere sneaky?
I would poof. I would poof in front of everyone if I were you, but I don't know how people here feel about magic.
I would like center stage.
Yeah.
Take a-
Oh, yeah?
Exactly.
All right.
Like,
So, pig.
I wouldn't, for one simple fact, we're possibly going to be using him as a sneaky agent into.
That is
the
true.
people.
That is true.
Also,
I don't
druids are
want
supposed to
them-
be cool. As in
And rare.
Yeah. that's what I meant.
So,
Well, there aren't any druids anymore because nobody follows the old gods.
so let's not announce ourselves like that.
Good point. Good point.
I don't want the church coming right down our throats because,
That's a good-
well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no,
I
that's
just-
totally valid.
Slink off and sneakily pop up somewhere people aren't looking.
Yeah, which is totally doable. I mean, the crowds worked up, but it ended on a win for that last busty half orc. So the crowd wasn't really paying attention to you.
Well, good. I'm glad they were able to have fun with it there.
Yeah. Well, and each of the contestants are people that you're going to be fighting in the tournament for tonight. So it was a chance to get a look at some of the things that they can do. Maybe give you an idea of what they're capable of when it comes time to fight.
Yep.
So, speaking of, I think I actually have character sheets for all of these guys. Hold on.
I rage.
Remind me, is that belt just part of it, or do you actually manually press that one?
I'm sure it's part of the loop because we hear it a lot.
Wait, the belch?
Yeah.
That depends. So I have a loop that I can play that is called burps and drink noises.
That's what I think we're hearing right now.
That's part. Well, you have no idea, son. I'm running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops at varying volumes, and then I have 3 custom to this soundscape one-offs. One is a burp, and that plays one of a number of burps, not always the same one. And then I also have some laughs in female and male. And then I have a bank that are the same no matter what schema I'm on, but I'm also running between 2 schema right now so that I can have the crowd noise when I want it, because that's from a different schema than this one. This is a tavern schema. And then those are 2 out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 8, 9, 20, 21, 21 schema that I own. And I could buy more. I buy them every now and then when we're playing, when I feel like we're in an environment I don't have anything for at all. I will sometimes just go buy a schema real quick and
They hit
download
them
it.
up when they're doing like a holiday sale and just get a bill of pack.
I ought to. I never think about it until we're playing, and then I'm like, oh yeah,
I guess.
And at this point, I have 20 something of them because I have been particularly drunk while we were playing and gone, nope, I want that one and that one. They're only $3 a piece, so clearly I can buy 5.
Totally.
I actually
Good there.
I would welcome a sponsorship from Sirenscape because I do give them glowing reviews on this stream fairly regularly. But we are not sponsored by Sirenscape.
Yeah, they're cool though.
But yeah, I love their product. But yeah, you're like, it's a loop. I'm like, well, bro, I'm running, just this schema. I'm running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops, and there are plenty I'm not running right now. Like if I wanted to cool you guys down and put you by a fireplace, I could do that. If I wanted to play the musicians some more, I have multiple versions of that on this schema, but multiple other schema with multiple other bards, It's just a matter of how many tabs do I want to keep my eye on at a time.
Right.
Their app is pretty good for, as long as I remember. I just got to keep in my mind I'm running pieces from Red Dragon City Raid, and I'm also running pieces of Friendly Tavern. And then there's customs. Like they give you 3 custom tabs that if I sat there and set up, I could, like, there's things I use regularly on this campaign that span like 5 different schema. And if I like put them together into like, the when we're traveling tab and the when we're in town tab, it would,
Yeah.
That'd be cool. And in fact, I only turned on the drinks and the burps when we were between, because we're between events, right? This is the crowd as they drink and party and bet. Talk about what's going to happen next.
Right. Waiting for the first round of the fights to start.
Right. And then when that happens, I'll cool this down and I'll throw the cheers back on.
Okay. It's Jory and Verdi that are fighting, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I don't know if you were paying attention, but the 6 contestants in the big catch are your opponents in this fight.
Indeed.
So
My
for round one, Jory, you're squaring off against one of the half-orc sisters. Verde, you're squaring off against the athletic human who grabbed the pig last of the humans. The other half-orc is paired up against one of the halflings, and the other human is paired up against the other halfling. So these are unarmored fights, which means as far as attacks go, the attack that you're using is an unarmored strike, which is either a strength, dex, or constitution roll. You pick which, but you use its modifier for both your attack and your damage. And they all have, their own stats and AC. So basically, we're going to do 2 strikes per round. 1, you attack them. 2, they attack you. Or attacker attacks 1, defender attacks 2. And the person with the most successful strikes will be considered the winner. Does that sound decent for you guys?
Sounds good.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, why don't we begin? We'll start with Jory, since he was first on the list. Jory, if you open up your character sheet on the main page where you have your abilities listed, you see the little die next to each of them. You can just grab either strength, dex, or con, whichever one has the best modifier for you, and throw that into the chat rail for me, please.
Would you like that from the abilities, right?
Yeah.
Throw it into the chat rail. I'm melting you, dice.
Okay, yeah. So an 8 is not gonna hit. I'm
just getting started.
Okay. They get a chance to hit you back. So here we go. That's a 10. So I don't think that hits you either, right?
Versus my AC. No, my AC is 11.
That's what I thought. Okay, so your first round goes into quote unquote overtime. Give me another attack.
All right, I'm just hopping.
Now we're at sudden death. First attack wins.
Oh, God damn it. Why'd you let me wait? Why?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not going to hit.
Nope. Garfinage?
Too late.
Too late.
I think that hits. Yep. So, okay. So our winner is our first tackle. Half-orc sister. Okay, Verde. Your first opponent is a human.
I am
that's a
Speedy
hit.
Gonzalez.
Nice. Okay, so you got your first lick in. Let's see what we do. I desperately need to change my push to talk. I keep flooding my chat with fucking asterisk marks.
J.
Exactly, dude. Oh, that's a miss, sir, which means you take the round.
Didn't even have to
Nicely done.
rage.
All right, let me roll out a couple rounds here really quick. Start with the second half-orc sister and our first halfling. Ooh, that's a hit. Oh, but that is also a hit.
Wow. That's a 20 right now.
TKO.
Oh, you missed. And that's a hit. Wow, our halfling took the round.
halfling. On dexterity too, so you know that means he just climbed up motherfucker's chest and started gripped him around the neck with his legs, tiny little stubby halfling legs, and started
That was a
pummeling him.
girls' match, but yeah, totally.
Okay, you could sub she. She could do
Oh
the
yeah,
same
yeah,
thing.
same fucking fight. I'm
Walk
just
right
saying,
up the
just a
chest.
picture in your head. That's all.
Yep, exactly right. Get the picture, yeah, girl. Closes her little stubby legs around his neck and just beats the crap out of him.
Well, I mean, it's hits. It's not like knockout hits we're talking about, so that could just be a real good punch to the shin.
Just peg one right to the cheek. Ah,
Yeah.
Ah, you little knuckle. Ah!
Point
Totally.
sparring's point
Little fighter.
sparring.
All right, here we go. Halfling versus human. Oh, that's a miss. Oh, and that's a hit, so. Sorry, halflings. It looks like the humans take the day in this round. Give me a moment. I'll take some notes, and then we'll set up round two.
Flex.
Okay. Round two, we'll pit our human against Verde. You fought the other human last round, didn't you, Verde?
Yeah.
Okay, so this time you're fighting a very brawny woman. She's about 5'4", but like built like a wall, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does she have red hair?
She does not have red hair.
Okay, so that's not her.
Get out though.
Yeah. Good looking out though. Exactly. All right. Yeah. In fact, she takes the initiative of the fight, so she's going to throw the first attack out.
Dwarf-sized human.
Not a very good one though. No, that's not good for you either, though. All right, so striking back. Oh, there we go.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that hits. I
Yep.
mean,
All right.
yeah, because there's no armor, right?
Right.
Oh, wait,
exactly.
no, I'm unarmored. I have a 19.
Oh, your AC's a 19?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So that's a hit. It's just ineffectual. So, yep, moving on.
What are your
Give me another
attributes
attack.
again?
Dexterity +5. Then I also have improved unarmored defense because I'm a barbarian. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
get
yeah.
Yeah, it's why
plus,
Long
plus
Good would
10
never wear
plus your
armor.
dex modifier plus your constitution modifier. So that's 5 plus 6, 7. Yeah. So I got myself a 19.
Yeah.
All right, well, give me another attack, man.
Good lord, you're gonna be the hardest person to beat in this thing.
Oh, shit. That's going to hit, though. All right, so Verde takes the
Thump.
round. All right, halfling versus half orc 2.
You gave me vengeance.
Oh man, I don't know what's going on with our orcs tonight.
I know. It beat
They're
me
still
too.
covered
That
in
makes-
grease, and they don't
Terrible.
like it. One of them's also actually not covered in grease.
I
Covered
see, it's
in
like a-
mud.
Right, I see. It's like a play fight is what's going on here. They're just playing for the crowd.
And another low sweep kick that's been jumped over.
There we go.
Yeah,
that's it.
And
Sorry,
a halfling
halfling.
punt. That is punt.
Into the fucking crowd.
Okay. Verde, it's you versus the half orc sister. You want to throw out the first attack, or are you gonna let her?
I want to fly into a rage. Can I do that?
Yeah, I mean, does rage affect your attacks in any way?
Nah, I wouldn't actually do it in like a dexterity way, so
It'd be showy though, but
it would be showing. But unless we were doing an actual combat, it doesn't actually mean anything.
that's why I was asking. I was like, maybe you don't want to waste it. I mean, nothing's really gonna happen to you tonight, but
Yeah, I'm not gonna waste it. I'll attack first. I won last round. Maybe not this round, but was that +5?
No.
No. Okay, so that's an 11. Still doesn't hit.
yeah, it's still the bit. It's all right. She's not doing great either, so.
Oh god damn.
Oh damn! I think
Mother
that
of
hits.
pearl. That does hit. I don't have an AC of 21.
Yeah. Well fought, sir. And we end the night with the locals keeping the crown. That said, you do get a cut of the house. It's not a hell of a lot since you were first loser, but you do take home the equivalent of 10 GP.
Yes. I even have a little extra money than the rest of the party. I came upon it from a generous donator.
Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know. He came out of nowhere. Just she came out of nowhere.
A half orc? I
Yeah.
knew exactly where she was coming from.
I thought I did.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, the crowd makes its way through the vomitoriums, and the evening
Gross.
comes to a close.
Yeah.
There you go.
Ends third day.
While things were going on there, I probably would have taken a little bit of time to kind of look around in the behind the scenes area, because I don't know if there's like a lot of checkpoints and stuff, or if a pig could kind of just wander around a little bit, if you're a little sneaky.
Oh yeah, things are pretty. So there's like basically sort of two separate sides. So it's almost like two buildings, even though it looks like one structure. Basically demarked by the east and west gates. Those sort of like act as the end caps to either of the two like sort of semicircular buildings.
I see.
With the bleachers forming the sort of like outside wall on the inside edge of the arena. There are 4 total exits from that area. The east side and the west side actually go to the bleachers, where the north side and the south side actually go to inside the building. So the buildings themselves are more like the backstage area,
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be the kind of place that has any sort of like elaborate underground works. Like you don't see any evidence of like elevators or anything like that. And as far as security goes, like other than everybody seems to know everybody, there doesn't really seem to be any.
Okay, so I'd just be able to kind of look around and get a feel for what the place looks like, where different stuff is at. kind of what their different equipment and stuff look like for maybe padding and dulled weapons sort of matches, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so like there's definitely a suite of wooden wooden weaponry.
Wooden
Excuse
weaponry.
Sweet wooden weaponry.
And
She suggested wooden weaponry.
right, exactly. But you also find steel weapons with no actual edge, as well as actual bladed weapons, though those seem to be let's call them hero props, fewer and far between, and of significantly higher quality than the rest. So they're probably reserved for like special matches of some sort.
Yeah, I would imagine those are ones where they're trying not to bang them together very hard, and they're trying to just make it look showy. They probably,
Right.
Maybe someone hits them with mending afterward or something.
Right, and yeah, exactly. They're kept, they're kept like polished and like you said, for show. Right.
Yeah. It's those ones where they're totally not swinging to hit each other, and they're totally just swinging to clash swords.
Medieval
style. Exactly.
Totally. Totally.
Or lightsabers too.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
And for what it's worth, like you find also, bits of like prop wall, like wooden walls painted to look like castle walls and things like that. So they obviously also do like
Shows,
shows or scenarios, like but it's very much got a like this is a stage vibe. Like everybody here is super athletic and it's all for real. Like I'm not saying otherwise, but it's obviously what they do for a living, and entertaining the crowd is their purpose,
Yeah.
It's the WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So there's like actual healing, so like yeah.
Yeah, and the crowd for the night was pretty WWE, was pretty like local folk, fucking blue collar folks, you know what I mean? Like, the salt of the earth, the people who go to fucking
Salt
WWE matches.
Yep.
Talking to you, salt of the earth.
Don't salt the earth.
Please don't.
That's like the bad version of Dwarf Fortress.
But the salt comes from the earth.
No.
Souls
I mean, it comes from mines, but
thousand
also the ocean.
carcinogens.
There is that
Right,
one
but the
salt
ocean gets
mine.
it from the rock,
No,
from the earth. So literally, salt is from the earth.
Is that one salt mine inland where they have like the super storage or whatever?
Oh, right, where they keep the old films and shit.
Yep. I love that.
I just heard the other day about one that was down somewhere in the south where they had this salt mine underneath this lake, and somebody looking for oil bored through.
I read about that. Yeah,
bored through the lake down into the salt mine, and then the salt mine basically completely swallowed the lake, as well as a bunch of barges and some people.
Nice.
Yeah, that, and nobody got sued for that, huh?
I don't know. It was just did you hear about this? I bet you didn't. And it was like in the 80s. And I was like, wow, I didn't hear about that. That's amazing.
Sounds terrible.
Can you imagine being witness to that, having been one of the operators of the drill, right? Like,
right.
Oh, look.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, shit. Guys.
Are you sure this is a good idea? Are you sure you're paid to ask that question? God damn it. All right. Pressing the button.
Kind of a tangent, but I like World of Darkness's explanation to why the Romans salted Carthage. It was part of a spell to keep the Carthage vampires who were running the city.
Keep the vampires
there.
down.
Well, so they went into torpor, right? The Bruja did after they got their asses kicked by the Ventru Romans, and they did some weird voodoo magic bullshit that involved the salting of the earth, which was symbolic to us, but to the vampires that would keep them in torpor for voodoo magic reasons.
You know what? While this is going on, give me a sec. I'm going to refresh a drink.
Okay.
I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Did I gain any adoring fans?
I mean, folks were impressed. I don't know that you. I think you probably want to do a few more nights before you check your follows.
Okay.
Hope to get some fan mail.
I'll kind of do some flexes right outside of the putatorium, see if anybody notices and remarks.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, a few people do notice as as they come by. A couple of them, offer you congratulations and better luck next time. So, but like nobody really knows who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually right. During the match, since it was unarmored, I chose to wear the boar head all the way over my face instead. Like I took it off of the hat for this.
Boar head.
Gotcha.
Covering my face, just in case any of those keen-eyed inquisitors might, notice a corpse in face.
Yep, I get it. Okay, fair enough. Well, in that case, you were the you were the heel of the episode, right?
Yeah. I was pulling an Inosuke.
Right on.
It's so unfortunate how ridiculously fine crafted that object would have to be made in real life in order to get something like that.
Oh yeah, totally.
You can't just have a boar's head mask hood that is a boar's head like that.
Right. It takes a ton of labor.
And he supposedly made it himself out in the middle of nowhere.
Right. Well, and look at the quality of his sword, right?
Oh, those were made by a fucking.
Right. He knocked out the etches on the first one, though, right?
Yep. Exactly.
I'm just saying, you can see the quote unquote precision of his work.
Exactly.
It's a 4th level spell according to this temple or this template.
What spell?
Oh no, that didn't have
The sound effect that you heard.
That's just 4th level spell.
Indeed. It has 0th level spell up to 9th level spell. And then it has actual spells with names. So would you like to hear what Animal Friend sounds like?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
There's not enough animal chirping. I thought there would be way more animal. Oh, there it is.
Whoa.
Wow.
Wow. Wound up. Wow, the wind up at the end. Yikes, with the growling.
Yeah.
Here's Charm Person. This is one we might use. Sounds like a heal.
Pretty sure I just got bar on this slot machine.
Yep. Bar. Here's Comprehend Language.
So is this what I'm hearing constantly in my head? Type?
Right.
I kind of like that one.
I don't. The reason why I don't is because the helmet that my character is constantly wearing on their head is a helm of comprehending languages.
So it's always whispering like that in your ears.
Yeah. So apparently it's always whispering.
You're just always listening to mellow, what do they call it? What's the room? The room at the rave where the mellow downtime music, dark and the chill music room, the chill room.
Yep.
Right.
Or I'm like a Malkavian who's fully tapped into the network.
Here, I'm going to cure your wounds.
I don't know for what kind of level cure wounds is that?
One.
That's too much for one.
You want to hear 3 or 5 or 7?
Well, if one was that big, I'm afraid to see what 7 is.
That's 1-2. This is 7-9.
Yep.
Oh shit, angels.
There it is. Yep.
There's the angels. You knew they were coming.
It could just be ohms too. It doesn't exactly. It's just heavenly choirs.
Yeah, exactly. That was
cherubim.
Hold person. Oh, I wonder what this sounds like. Doesn't sound like a hug at all.
No, is that
Harry
like
Potter got it right?
shriek rapping?
I know. Oh, identify.
Absolutely wrong. Identify sounds exactly like the sound of one of those incandescent light bulbs going over your head.
Only identify here is God. What the fuck is this?
I was going to say that's an awfully holy identify.
Right?
Exactly. No. In my canon, identify sounds exactly like the sound of a light
like
bulb
that.
turning on.
Yep. Bink. I like the sound. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but the sound of a flash bulb from a flash bulb camera from
Oh, yeah.
the 60s and the
Like,
80s.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I have.
Right.
They're pretty fun.
Here's knock.
Why would knock sound like this? Knock should sound like,
Right? I'm like, where's the knock?
or like an unlocking door, maybe.
Right, but where's the? It's like, where's the knock?
Wouldn't it be called knock because of the knock?
Are you back?
No.
Oh, hey,
Not
this one is an Alvis Tavern spell. Here's Mage Hand.
Okay, I can see that as mentioned, but no.
I like knock.
I could see knock being a silent spell as a dark art. You're a thief. You pick up a little bit of wizard where you can learn knock, and you don't want everyone to hear a every time you go through a door. So silent.
Another one for Verne. Prestidigitation.
That's obviously inaccurate. Prestidigitation makes whatever sound it must at the time.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the spell?
Yeah. Also, knock only has a verbal component, so not only does it not sound like that, it's mage speech.
Oh, it's
You
be
basically
friend
ask
and open.
the door to- yeah, you ask the door to open. Exactly.
So here's one that Neuro should hear. It's mending.
That kind of makes sense.
That's almost right. Sounds like you put a bunch of tape on it and then peeled it off real fast.
Right. I don't know why it does like a a sort of like transition in the middle to being like an ad for like THX or something, but it's cool.
Here's power word kill. So this is the last thing you hear. Oh, Morta.
That's not bad.
Yep, Morta. Oh shit. Oh God, I'm just gonna die.
You know what would have been funnier?
What?
Moida.
Did you hear Nero? Did you hear mending?
No. Yeah, that kind of works.
So here's stinking cloud, and if there's no fart noise in it, I'm gonna be sad.
At the same time, if there is a fart noise,
Sounds like a bong rip in a swamp.
Oh man, I just hit the Dago bong.
That's it. Yeah, it sounds like the Dagobong. And then one last one, we're going to do Vicious Mockery. Everyone, this is what Vicious Mockery sounds like according to the Sirenscape Bard Spells D&D schema.
I like it. Sounds like a Disney movie.
Totally
Right.
does.
Or like the beginning of a porno.
Wow.
wow,
Like-
you watch weird porn.
Yeah, sure.
No, not really. Like there was that girl laughing bit at the
Weird
end.
porn.
What are you talking about? Oh, whatever.
You know, he must have watched Skinamax, and that's where he saw it.
I'm
Like
not even gonna touch this hole anymore. I'm gonna stand in the divot that I've made and not go any farther in either direction. I'm not gonna say anything. The shovel is no longer in my hands.
Moving on.
Yeah, exactly.
Sir, I'm like 3 levels below you. It's fine down here. Come on.
I'm saying it sounds like, one of those things that you hear after the Pornhub, bom, ba-tom, ba-tom, bom, and then it's all like, Skimpy Laughing Girls or some whatever amateur company.
Jesus Christ, you watch Gimpy Laughing Girls porn?
Wow, you know of Skimping Laughing Girls?
What the
No,
hell?
Gimpy.
No, I said Skimpy, not
Oh.
Gimpy. Wow,
I heard
Wow.
Gimpy.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're looking for
Oh,
something.
Wow. Okay.
All of you are looking for something. I said
don't-
Skimpy.
Yeah, I heard Skimpy too, but
Y'all looking for stuff. You're
I
looking
didn't
for weird
realize
stuff.
that was like a category.
Yep,
Skimping
today I learned.
some clothes, but
Today
not
I learned.
entirely nude.
Snipe Hunter has another tab open right now.
Out of usual fashion, I will ask. We have a question here from our buddy Caesar. What universe of porn are you guys living in? And the answer is, I don't know. What kind are you living in?
Exactly.
Because I'm going to
question.
answer a question with a question, because that's not a logical way to move forward with a conversation, and you're just like a jerk for doing it. And so I'm going to be a jerk. And let's continue.
Sounds good.
What was Watson doing? Well, actually, are your stuff done, Neuro? Is your stuff done, Neuro?
Yeah, all of my stuff's done. I looked around. I did the pig thing. I went back up.
Oh
with
yeah, you
guys.
took home 10 gold too.
All right. Did you put that in my
Alright.
thing?
Didn't win any money.
You'll have to add it yourself.
Okay.
I'm like out there with my quill looking to sign autographs.
See, you gotta be more subtle about it, Jury friend. Like I was just flexing.
Okay, but now
It
you've
came
got
to me.
Just
you've got an idea for me. Next time I do the pig thing, I've got to have them print up like a certificate for first, second, and third place or whatever that I put like the stamp on with the
with your cloven pig hoof.
Yep, with Trotter.
Yep, nice, nice. Yeah, so you guys make it home.
What was Watson doing?
Right. What were you doing during that time, Watson?
Did a shift over at the inn. Figured may as well let me practice my cooking. Maybe make a little coin. I don't know.
You're a little
Keep out of trouble.
Yeah, keep it good with our host.
Yeah.
Right,
Like,
fair enough.
He could be a little catty sometimes.
He might be a pawful.
Exactly.
Oh, this conversation is what's powerful.
It is awful.
You know, when you gotta weave a yarn.
I'm
making my head stand
feline
on
a bit of
You're stretching that. Yeah.
alcohol.
I mean, he has been known to share some before. Yeah, can you make a perception check for me, Watts? Nice. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Sorry about that. My UI just did something very strange for a second there. Okay, so the night at the restaurant is is relatively uneventful. People come and go. You help out in the kitchen. Basically helping out wherever you can, kind of acting like a sous chef. Sharing whatever tips you can and things like that at the same time. Seems to go really well. The owner and his wife are both pretty enamored of you guys at this point. They haven't like offered you a discount on your room or anything, but they obviously think you're good people. Over the course of the night, you do notice an interesting thing about the crowd. People have been calling the place the Beast Folk Inn basically every time you've mentioned it. So you would expect that to be the majority of your patronage
Clientele.
over the course of the night. But that's not actually what happens to me. And in fact, over the course of the night, you keep seeing more and more just regular, humans come in. And I say regular humans, but really, I mean like probably adventurers or some other kind of soldier from their bearing and, the fact that they're generally cloaked and covering their clothes. They don't start any trouble. There's never an issue. Nobody seems to take particular interest in you that you are specifically aware of. But even the owner's wife comments on it. She actually mentions it to her husband, in kind of a low breath. It's a strange crowd. There's really no explanation for it, but that's how the night went.
Did they recognize the crowd? Like, were they locals? Were they foreigners?
They did not recognize the crowd. They did seem to be locals, for what it's worth. All spoke the local lingo and accent. You know what I mean?
Right. But more like they were from the southeast section of town rather than the southwest?
More like they were, from the not beast folk section of town.
Right.
Why was someone from up the hill doing down the hill?
Well, and, an interesting thing about it, too, is it's not like one group of people came. It was like,
And an entire thing the entire night.
Yeah, every hour, every 30, 40 minutes, somebody would come in, sit down, order a meal, hang out, leave, and then somebody else or maybe a couple of people would show up. You know what I mean? Like, it was just a trickle all night. But
Right.
it was
I
all
wonder
night.
if they're trying to get a glimpse of us.
Question. What quality was the capes?
Oh, pretty decent. Worn though, you know what I mean? Like, none of them were new. But like, as far as like overall quality goes, the kind of thing that you would buy expecting to wear it for a year or more.
Was
Like
there
a
any
year of hard use, you know what I mean?
Right. Was there any embroidering on it?
No, in fact, they were all explicitly nondescript.
That's military. I'm sorry, that's my knee-jerk reaction anyways, because, well, that makes me less than comfortable.
I kind of wonder if any of them are from that group that was scouting us out when we were outside to the north.
Oh, that'll do nothing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe so.
With a roll like that, you probably didn't even remember them.
Right.
Well, I say if that's the case, then maybe we want to bid our company adieu for the night and find a place to camp.
I'd like to throw an insight. I think it's insight or perception, one or the
I
other.
think this would have happened while you guys weren't there.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true. Once we got back, this is all chilled out, right?
Well, yeah, by the time you guys get back, the public route
Is gone.
closed.
Yeah,
Right.
okay. So Watts is just telling us this. Hey, Watts, did it seem like they were there, like looking for something or hoping, like were they?
It didn't feel that way. I'd ask the owners, see if what kind of vibe they got off of them. If they were not the usual crowd.
Oh yeah. They didn't seem. None of them really seemed to have anything to say. They really didn't engage in conversation. Didn't really talk about anything.
Just showed up, got a meal, and bailed, huh?
Yeah.
That's weird. I mean, everyone else was like chatting up a storm. Like you could barely hear yourself think.
I wonder if something was going on with the other restaurant where they weren't able to serve all the customers, and so it was just a lot of overflow.
Over at the other end, just down the street.
Yeah.
Nobody commented on it.
Well,
And that's definitely something they would comment about because, oh, I had to walk over here. I couldn't just get something there.
Oh, wait.
Standard.
Alternatively, there's something dirty going on where they're trying to starve that place of business, so they're just going here instead.
I doubt it, but I mean, it's possible.
I don't know. If you get a chance, maybe talking to not us, but you two as the owners here, to talk to the owners of that place and see if they had any interesting company or complications or anything today.
Oh, thinking somebody might be scouting out there, it might cause problems.
Either
No, I
that,
think it's probably too many people for them to be looking to cause problems, unless they're looking to cause problems for that inn. Like maybe they're, this is the last they're going to have of the animal folk or something, in which case I'm personally involved. This is where we stay, because it's safe for people like me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Gralf didn't get the impression that they were hostile, or anything like that. Like, if anything, his thought was that maybe a ship had come in and they were just,
cycling the people
that's
off
true.
to get
Right.
food.
that would make sense.
But why would they go here?
Well, that
instead
also
of...
speaks to the idea of overflow. If 3 ships just came in from the Coral Kingdom,
Exactly. Oh shit,
Yeah.
that's true. 3 ships did just come in from the Coral Kingdom.
Yeah.
so that would make sense if they just filled both restaurants
But
and
they-
coming in shifts.
Yeah, but the restaurants and not the rooms.
yeah, they did. Well, I mean, for what it's worth, if they were sailors, they wouldn't need a room. They would sleep on the ship, right? I mean, unless they were on shore leave. But if they were on shore leave, they probably would have been partying and not just eating a meal. You know what I mean?
Right.
True enough.
It sounds like they're here just, business and maybe a quick turnaround.
We can hope.
Indeed.
Well, at least it was, good having more business for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of Gralf's take on it. It's not a bad night, just weird.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Ship's probably the best answer I've got. So what this is an odd question. What are the sorts of insects that live in the area here? I'm specifically looking for ones that here where I'm from, there's certain sorts of things, people call them bush crickets, but that's not exactly accurate. It's odd. They've got ears on their knee. And they can
Ears
hear,
on their knees, he said.
yeah, they can hear
Not
like you
crazy
and
talk, man.
you and me do. Sounds pretty odd, but apparently they can hear
You've been smoking that jazz lettuce.
almost a mile away, I think.
Jazz.
That's impressive. Yeah, I mean, he'll tell you about the local insects. They have crawlers and hoppers and fucking stingers and biters. Which from conversation you gather means that they have, crickets and cockroaches and beetles and bees and mosquitoes. He doesn't describe anything you can't match to an Earth species.
Okay. I guess the other thing I would be thinking about is, do I go with that route, or do I risk going with like a little mouse parked somewhere in a crevice? There's options. We'll figure it out. So what's on for the night? It's the Tigerfish stew, right?
They're like, no, we sold out. We had too many people around to come on, didn't we just say?
Yeah, I mean, there's some taborfish, what is basically taborfish curry at this point, but there's some taborfish curry left.
Oh yeah.
I suppose I'd like to eat some of that myself.
I mean, it does sound pretty yummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got exerted there in my first round.
Oh, yeah. We hit the arena. I did the greased pig thing for the opening night.
Yeah, are you still like slick to the touch? Like, did you like towel off or something?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it actually just came off when I changed forms.
It just
I was gonna say,
splashes to the
lose it,
ground around you.
We'll lose it with the wild shape.
Yep.
That's awesome. Does it saturate your skin so that you get nice, well-toned human skin when you like grease up your pig form and then go back to human form?
Maybe.
Right?
Yeah, all perfectly hydrated.
Right, exactly.
To be perfectly honest, I think the pig form might have actually had as much or more skin surface area as my tiny little halfling.
Right.
So, that one's kind of a hard one. In fact, if I turn into like a real nice like CR2, CR3 sort of big old bull hog, like yeah, that's much bigger than
right. That's like 3 of you.
It's amazing.
Oh yeah, the druid with the cooking background. Absolutely. It's
I may look like a rabbit, but I still like bacon.
Oh, of course.
I mean, I've met some rabbits I believe were carnivorous.
Got big nasty teeth.
I'm just saying, some rabbits could be mean.
Yeah. Do you see the bodies?
Just see the bones, man. The
See the bones.
What we really need is a cauldron on wheels. Like big old wagon wheels. I say over a mouth of taborfish.
If you're eating some taborfish, you're like, bro, what we need is an actual caravan.
No.
A cauldron on wheels.
A cauldron on wheels, not a carrot.
You gonna like sell soup door to door?
Yeah, why?
Door to door.
Oh, is this so that Candyman over here can just whip up spells and shit?
Yeah.
I get it. We'd have to build like a little. We'd have to build like a little like cradle for a fire that the thing sits over, and then we just wheel it around, and he's like, ah, vinegar, salt, water, splash.
These powers combined, you are Captain Food.
Chopping up parsnips and shit.
Captain Cuisine.
Captain Cuisine. Very nice.
Cuisine.
And boy,
yeah.
I
Blender?
don't know. I kind of want General Dim Sum.
General Dim Sum.
I generally like dim sum.
Yeah.
You just have to
Like,
put a top on.
In general, Dim Sum's good. So general.
In
Dim
general,
Sum.
yeah. Exactly. I had some bad dim sum the other day. I'm not going to.
Oh, that's sad.
I agree because I had to drive during my lunch period to go to this place, and another coworker and I were like, "Hey, since we're driving to lunch, you want to go to this place? Yeah, let's go there." And honestly, their dim sum was not worth the drive, and it's like, I had a sad. I'm not gonna name drop, but they were in a like a strip mall, and they were the only dim sum I had seen around, and I was only there because I was at a pizza place nearby that has a pizza Tuesday where you go and you get like a discounted pizza. Everybody gets their pizzas are discounted or whatever.
Right.
And so they're pretty good. Like Pizza Rev, I think they're called. And they just make your pizza right there in front of you, like it's the Chipotle of pizza.
Oh, so you just name dropped those two, but
You just doxed.
No.
The
I'm not going to
dim
name
sum
drop the
place.
bad dim sum place.
but that's
It's near pizza, whatever.
You'll
Chipotle never done me wrong. They're mediocre.
warn me of where
you know.
this place is, so I never do this.
If you're come down to San Diego and you're like, hey, I was going to get some dumplings at blank blankety blank, I'll be like, maybe get some pizza at Pizza Rev. It's in the same
Actually,
parking complex.
What I would probably do is contact people who I know and can trust with a good palate that work at or worked at like
Implications.
Daybreak Games, SOE Live, etc., and be like, "Yo, we're the good dim sum spot."
Exactly. Speaking of, if you're someone that's in the San Diego, greater San Diego area, Del Mar Heights, and you know where some good dim sum is to be had, please drop me a line in any of the myriad ways that I can be contacted and be like, bro, it's dim sum here. And I will totally do that. Back to the game.
Back to the game. All right. Yeah. Culture on wheels.
So yeah, this is the end of third night.
Yeah.
Depending on how you want to deal with the cathedral, that meeting of absolvers is sometime on the night of fifth day. Fifth night. I don't know why they just say that, but
Okay.
The night of fifth day?
right, the night of fifth day, exactly.
Yeah, patriarchist.
What sort of access do people normally get to the cathedral? Like, is there some amount that people can like go in and walk around, or do you have to have a reason to be there and be escorted to
Generally
places?
speaking, the cathedral does close its doors at night, but generally speaking, its ground floor is basically open to anyone. From when they open their doors in the morning to when they close them at night. And they close them after last services, so around like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, depending on how long the sermon that night goes.
I see.
Its upper floors, there are two that you can eyeball from outside. A sort of like skeletal top floor that sort of like reinforces / stands on the like roof line. Almost like it's a frame that the roof is suspended from. That probably has like a space or a couple of rooms up at the top where there are like towers. But the ground floor is pretty big, 20-foot tall. And then there's like a middle floor that seems to have a couple of non-chapel rooms, like maybe they're quarters or offices or libraries or prayer spaces or something, but you can see smaller windows that aren't the otherwise massive stained glass windows that dominate every open window in the place, every orifice.
Well, geez, with all the stained glass windows everywhere, where's their ventilation? How does the air get in and out and around? Like, it seems very stifling.
Some kind of color.
Well, there are like, couple is not the right word, but there are like there are little openings in the roof that are like they're like from a distance they look like windows. So you would guess that there's probably ventilation on the roof. The big doors are also open, obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
Question: how much detail can I see through the eyes of my minion?
Hold on.
Then I raise my head and stare into the eyes of my minion.
I'm not saying into the eyes of my minion. I'm saying out of the eyes of my minion.
I mean, details.
Yeah, he has the equivalent of normal human vision, but he also has dark vision 30 feet.
Okay, okay. Since it doesn't actually have normal sight, I was wondering what level of detail I'd be able to see. Like, could I walk over to a piece of paper and read it conveniently?
Yeah,
No,
like I said, normal human vision.
even though it doesn't technically have eyes. Okay.
Dear minion.
Okay, so
It's the cupcake, right?
yes.
I'm like, no, I remember. You have a cupcake. Why won't you let me die?
Because you're my backup food just in case.
Doesn't anybody want to eat me?
Oh, don't worry, I'll eat you well. Anyways, what I'm thinking can happen. Neuro can take the form of something small. I can go in with my cuppy cake. We can drop them off into the main building and let them scout.
Right.
To be like a
Right, I
little
get it.
rat or a dude. Oh no, a mega rat, a fucking possum. Then you can stick the cuppy cake in your pouch.
Gross.
So
Gross.
here's a question. What are we gonna do during the day? Like, are we gonna scout out the lower floor? Is that something that we kind of did there with the details you gave us?
Really, I gave you what you could tell from looking at it outside.
Gotcha.
It sits on a hill, so you can get a pretty good look at it inconspicuously. You know what I mean?
And with how
You're
tall
the
is the hill?
best.
Like if we compared it to the houses surrounding it, like is it like 1 story, 2 stories? Or
You know, the top of that hill is probably like 60 feet up.
Thank you, Verde.
Only took me an hour and 30 minutes to see the message.
To see the message, it's fine. But during that time,
So
I
that's like
consumed
what?
the majority of my alcohol, and then it woke me up.
That's like 6 stories.
Oh, that's a big hill.
Yeah.
Some places would call that place a mountain.
It's not quite that big.
No,
but yeah,
60 feet?
it's a
No.
pretty big hill.
I look
Trying
out
to make a
upon my
mountain out
city
of a
from 270
molehill.
feet. Yeah, exactly.
There's some places in Ireland that try to do this. Anyways, might have been a movie about it.
I'm just saying, if you put a 60-foot hill next to my window and I jumped out the window, I'd still die.
Mm-hmm.
Very likely, yes.
No, your hair would save you.
Oh, thank you. I don't
Read
think so,
enough
though.
drag.
Yeah, right? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Gotta
Okay,
relax like
so
a sack of
in-
potatoes and break your legs first.
Right, and if it's the right, slope of hill, you hit it, then you kind of blade and roll down the hill. Boom, 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 boom.
I might
So
actually
that's
stop.
6 stories that we could theoretically have to go through.
That's fine.
Yep. If there's generally that much space there, I kind of want to. I'll take the cupcake downward. If you'll take the upper floor, I figure you could do like something small and insecty that they most likely would just ignore.
Like, I would be doing that during the day if we had the opportunity as a spider or something else, but the intent would be trying to see where the offices are and where these officers
Right.
in particular do their business, so that I can have a better idea of the location and potentially scout out some of the resources they have.
Right. That's what I was thinking about doing with the cupcake as well. Also, see if we could detect any hidden alcoves, etc. That might have hidden papers, information, stairwells. Because this place, if it doesn't have a lot of basement, will concern me. Because it's going to have to connect to the sewer network. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of where.
Right. I was going to say, for what it's worth, there's a whole like complex at the top of the hill. The cathedral is the biggest structure in terms of square footage, but it's also like probably mostly empty space. The other buildings are like tombs. There's like
It looks like
a
a dormitory.
monastery. Right. Exactly.
I kind of don't want to go near the dormitories because higher odds of people being there.
What's the map?
Gallender City is the map.
Depending on the time, there's actually a high chance of people not being there.
That's fair. But it would be easier for me to get in and drop off Cupcake in the cathedral because I'm operating off the idea. If I toss the cupcake over the wall, It's most likely going to go splat and be useless.
It does have one hit point, so
Exactly. I unfortunately didn't luck into having a sugar fairy as a familiar. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
I mean, I guess you could try going through the front door with it, but again, most of these are going to have somebody stationed at the door.
Are there any
watching things.
Are there any like balconies or anything you could like kind of toss the cupcake up into, or have Neuro carry it? Like he could just, like I said, be a big dirty rat. Just grab it up and carry it.
It would
Up,
probably be a
seagull,
matter
yeah.
of I can't do birds yet. Getting the cupcake in and then getting to like a bench outside so you're still in range to see through it.
You could just perch somewhere on the roof like a dirty rat. Like,
No, I'm saying so
No.
he can be in range to control his thing.
Oh.
Because
What's the range on seeing into your cupcake eye? What do your frosting eyes see?
icing.
Icing eyes. I. What do your eyes sing? What did they sing? I sing the icing. Oh man, it just no. She suggested too much.
Find familiar. 100 feet of you. Communicate telepathically and can see through its eyes.
So basically, I have to be in the cathedral praying the entire time in a meditative type state.
Well,
That's a great
I'm
idea.
saying you could do that during the day, but then at night, if you want to still be using your cupcake, you'd have to be like parked on a bench outside or something if they don't clear you out from there too.
Sleeping like a hobo.
No, not sleeping like a hobo. You'd just be sitting upright. We'd be hanging out and just like shooting the shit, and he'd just kind of look like he's half dazed and half
It's been
dozed
hours.
off.
It's been hours. We lost track of time.
Right. I mean, this is definitely a doable scenario.
And of course, if anything gets funky before you leave the range, you can do the unsummon, just pop out of existence thing, so you don't just leave your cupcake
For
there.
what it's worth, the building's probably like 300 feet long.
Hmm. Well, you'll get to a point where you're gonna lose control and you have to find a different bench. Hey guys, my ass is getting tired of this bench. Let's find a different bench.
I mean, it's doable. Just is this how we want to do it? Because the other option is trying to find somewhere where, actually, I don't know of anywhere that would have those plans. Because part of what we're wanting to do is scout the place out to actually know where everything is, which means we need something to map it out, whether it's construction plans, etc. Those most likely don't exist outside of their own archives.
Right. They may not exist at all, even.
Considering how ornate the place looks, it would almost have to have something. If nothing else, to make it where they could repair or replace the stained glass windows should anything befall them.
Right. What I mean is that those plans may be in the hands of the architect or the guild masters that actually built it. Right. Because like if you think about how medieval guilds worked back then, that shit was proprietary.
Right. They actually may not even have it. They may have been bought from the architect and is stored inside of the archives of the cathedral proper.
Possible. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Remember, we're dealing with the churches, and churches don't like giving up their property.
Also true.
And if there was any hidden alcoves, etc., they don't want people finding them.
Right. Yeah. Any like
Human.
specific secrets they may have had in mind,
Yeah.
you would definitely not find in the hands of the guildmaster.
I wonder if the person who designed and helped build it is still alive. I doubt it. Sorry, that's not very nice.
Yeah, no, it's
It's cynical.
right. It's a few centuries old for sure. So
Okay. So this is, I guess, would be the best course of action. It's up to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I get 2 hours worth. Wait, it would be my level, half my level rounded down. Is that right? Or is it half my level rounded up?
it's down. Yeah.
Okay, so I would be getting basically 2 hours worth where I've got to hide somewhere for a moment. I don't think I have to hide it. I think I can actually maintain wild shape if I've got a second one and I don't have
Right. I was gonna say you just expend the other wild shit.
Yeah. So I can do 2 hours, and then if we're just hanging out on benches, I kind of take like a quick nap for an hour and then get back in there and do it again. Or go back to the inn and take a nap there or something. But,
Right. Okay. Yep. I get what you're saying.
but it would be trying to figure out like where the officers are, like what offices in particular, kind of learn the pathways to get to and from them. If they have any locks or anything like that, and like the cracks in the doors that I'll be able to bypass. Like you were saying, with all the stained glass, they have means of ventilation, but one of those I'm sure means they don't have like super sealed ass doors, except for maybe archives that need to stay exceptionally dry.
Which they may even have magical means of doing, honestly.
Yeah, so I would imagine there's a lot of cracks that I'll be able to crawl through in one form or another. And just like figure out who the who's who are, if there is any paperwork that, somehow gets left behind in a place where I can kind of read it, see what I can find, but definitely making sure to be wary of where people are at and not getting shoe spider smacked. Oh, hey, I'm actually not a spider. Hi, sorry. Bye-bye. That's
Don't you like once your spider HP get wasted, don't you automatically revert though?
yeah,
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
What? Yeah.
and then it just says, you didn't
Also,
see
fuck you for
me,
taking
and then I
10 of
turn
my
into
HP.
something else and get the hell out of there. Like a mouse.
All right. So the cathedral is open to the public during the day. So are you walking in to drop your guys off, or are you sneaking in? Are you sneaking your cupcake buddy in with you as a wild shaped animal?
I would probably walk in with the cupcake just in like a pouch or something. And when it's time for me to wild shape, I would take the cupcake out and I would do it in a place where, not in a like shady, like look around, look left, look right, but there's totally people around sort of thing, but legitimately a place where nobody's looking and nobody was seeing me go there. And just pop. Or the other version is, because I'm so small, just pop in a dense group of people, immediately, jump on or have been touching somebody that I can just kind of grab onto as a spider and just kind of wait until things thin out to then jump off and spider around when there aren't as many feet around. Just like
Right,
right in the
getcha.
middle of a group where a halfling would easily just be missed and forgotten.
Right. Yep. Well, I mean, over the course of the day, there's certainly plenty of opportunities. The church does 3 services: a morning service, a noon service, and an evening service, which are well attended, for what it's worth. So, and it has a pretty large capacity. So, well attended means hundreds of people, right? Like,
I gotcha. I also wanted to have an addendum on our schedule. First thing I think we would have done, knowing who we are, is go check in on the arena, on the Pugnatorium, and see what the fight of the day was.
Oh yeah, there definitely would have been that, but also in hearing about your plans for the cathedral while we were waiting in the interim for the fights or whatever, I'd definitely be interested in staking out the cathedral.
For sure. Yeah, I mean it's an early sign up and then a late attendance to do the fight or whatever. So
right.
That works. We got all day to do our scouting, go back, eat some taver fish, and get back to it.
Right. Yep. It's Mage Night, for what it's worth. Not Mage Night TM, but the night where mages
not
fight.
Mage Night.
Where
Mage Night.
spellcasters cast
Exactly.
spells at each other.
Correct.
Okay. I'm in for that. This is not one where I could use wild shape though. Not that I would necessarily. I think we're keeping wild shape on the down low, so I wouldn't be.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So Jory and Watts, I assume that you are also going to physically enter the cathedral?
Sure.
And before anybody
stick with
freaks
Watts.
out, I just want to know if I should put your tokens on the map.
If Watts is going in there, and then this sounds like I will be sticking with Watts for sure.
Well, I know YOLO's going in.
Yeah.
And I know that Phalian's going in. So,
Well, yeah, exactly. I'm 100% sticking with the party. Yeah.
All right. In that case, I shall share the map with everyone.
I take it Watson has no interest in entering in the wizard fight.
Oh, well, I mean, that's a thing that we'll do at another time, one way or the other. So
Gotcha.
Plenty of time to retcon that if we want to. You know what I mean?
Okay. I see some lights, I see some tokens, and I don't see anything else. By lights, I mean things that are sources of light, but not what they emit. There's a big red question mark in the middle. Is there a resource I need to download from you?
Maybe. Yeah, it certainly sounds like the map didn't load for you. Maybe it's still loading? Question mark?
Shit. Yeah, I was gonna say I clicked on it to kind of scroll it around, and now it's like
I'm getting
hanging as though it were loading.
Yep. Same here. Well,
or maybe crashing.
Yeah, maybe it's just really slow to send files.
Nope, there it is. Wow, look at that. It's got some lighting. It's dynamic.
There we are.
That's the Samurai Victory Dance. Anybody didn't know, and
Indeed.
I did not write that song, nor the dance that goes with it, which I will not demonstrate at this point because I don't.
Okay. All right.
Essie Poorly.
There's a cupcake icon.
I mean, it's Watts' familiar.
It sure is. It looks exactly like the muffin from the ASDF movie.
I mean, that was not unintentional.
Would you like a healthy muffin?
Unfortunately, they don't support animated GIFs.
Yeah, because then you could just clip a piece of ASDF and stick it.
Exactly.
Why won't you let me die? Oh, cupcake.
So, I see 4 doors. Is that just a large brazier that is not lit, or is it more like a
Oh,
water
directly in front of you? That's a fount. Yeah, that's probably got holy water in it.
Is it wrong that I want to dip something in there and take it with me? If it actually is holy water.
Balls in it.
Yeah, for what it's worth, there are actually a couple of more smaller ones on either side of the door into the main cathedral. You're basically standing in an entrance hall. I did not make, several hundred tokens for people. It is not actually empty, just to be clear.
Right. None of them just matter at all.
Right. People come and go.
Heroes.
Nobody really gives you
forever.
a second glance. Jory gets a couple of looks. But
what? Is it the ears?
Right. I was gonna say that's more about the fact that, Jory's not the typical clientele.
Look, I don't have a devil face like this guy.
There's nobody in your party who has a devil face.
No, I zoomed in on Phelan because he's got that red. He looks like a devil.
Nah, dude, he's just coppery.
Yeah.
Well tanned.
I'm not an animate pastry either.
I'm sure that's in a pocket.
I look
somewhere.
perfectly normal.
Yeah, you're fine. I like your Pris makeup.
Here, I'll turn off the token locks so you guys can
what
walk
makeup?
around.
And your little icon here.
Yeah, you totally do have the Pris like airbrush.
Oh yes, I do. I do.
So,
but I mean, I have a helmet
Is there
on.
anything in the water, or is it just pristine burbling?
Yeah, just pristine. It's not actually burbling. But it's just a pristine bowl of water. It actually
doesn't actually burble.
Yeah, it doesn't burble, but it does actually sort of like flicker.
Are there any coins in it?
No. There's absolutely nothing in the font, in fact. But you realize as you look at it that the water actually softly glows with a silver light.
This is a church, isn't it? That's right. Do I have a coin?
I mean, I assume that you do. You'd have to check your inventory, but probably.
Don't throw anything in, please. In a lot of places, that is really rude.
You just look over at me and you're like, oh no, Joy, no, Joy. I'm like, but I have a copper. I have 54 copper. I just, like when the copper there, make a wish.
It is rude.
I could make a wish.
No, this is not a well.
What is it?
This is a font.
Can I get
not
a drink?
Well? No.
Won't it be good for me?
Most likely not.
Okay, Phalian. So you are now standing in the main cathedral. Just the first floor is 20 feet. 20 feet up, you can see the interior of this hall is ringed by a looks like a balcony basically that wraps from north, east, and south in a U shape. The main cathedral itself is lit by braziers that sort of intersperse the columns that line the main walk. There are several rows of pews wherein people are sitting, contemplating, talking. There is not a service going on at the moment that you guys are walking in. There are, however, several obviously identifiable acolytes and priests and things of that nature. There is a altar at the back, as well as a couple of statues that you realize must be of Demira, a couple of fonts, and then there are these two sort of like saints enshrined in their own little encasements here at the entrance. And I say saints because they're generic,
Well, I can't
sage
do the roll 20 ping thing. It's
warrior
these little
guys.
things in the.
Right,
It's these guys in the planners, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
By the way, on the entranceway, the statues, are they similar to the one in the previous church that we were familiar with, of the various knight saints of the church? Or are they just
Right, in the hall, they're actually pretty generic. They're of the same style of armor that you have seen, so clearly knights of the church, but more representational than actual like figures. Your guess is that it's meant to project a certain like amount of strength, rather than represent specific people.
Right. Okay.
The two on the inside of the cathedral itself, though, very much so. Probably even done by literally the same artists who did the ones in Poe.
And the cupcake that is going past that door, is it saying anything special about the door? Secured, not secured, open walkway?
Seems to be unsecured. Well, let me rephrase. It doesn't seem to have anything other than a, turnkey skeleton key sort of lock arrangement. You can't actually tell if it's locked without actually trying the door. But doesn't look like it's particularly anything special. The one that Yolo is standing in front of is like not even really a door. It's like a curtain in the doorway.
Ooh, I was gonna just ask if I could, check the handle or anything, but now
in the doorway.
Yeah, if you pull the curtain aside, what you see basically amounts to a hallway lined with similar doorways with red curtains.
Oh, a confessional.
I'm gonna listen. Yeah, I'm gonna try to listen.
You don't hear anything distinct. And in fact, having passed through the curtain, you realize that it must be ensorcelled to muffle sound. Because
all right, so my giant ears won't help.
Right, because there's no way that these curtains can hold back sound. But really, all you hear is like faint murmuring. You can't make out any words or anything. But there are definitely people, in these rooms, and they're speaking to each other.
Are they also covered by more curtains?
They are.
Is there an empty set?
Could the cupcake slip underneath it?
There are actually the cupcake absolutely could. But there is an empty one down at the bottom, and there's also a wooden door at the end of the hall there, Yolo.
Before slipping into the empty one over here, I'm gonna check the handle on the door.
It is not locked.
I'm gonna make as if I slipped open and into the door like tripped.
Yep, you realize you're standing in a closet.
Nice.
Cool.
It smells like murky water. Oh.
I look to the cupcake and I go, and I point back, and then I enter this this room right here.
Okay. It's less a room than again, to lean on cell, but like a cell in the monthly sense, in that it is a very small space, right? There is a comfortable red chair that, judging from the sort of like imagery worked into it, is probably where a priestly sort is supposed to sit. It stands across the space from a very uncomfortable stone chair where you would gather the supplicant sits.
She suggested the supplicants sit there.
But the space is currently empty, so there's really nothing else there.
Mhm.
Very neat.
So is the cupcake snooping on someone's conversation there?
Yeah, just a little creep.
Yeah, all right. If you if you do if you do a little creeping, let me let me do a thing here really quick. 1 second.
Creepin' Cupcake is my new funk project.
You
We're
know, it's a
taking
creeping
cues from, like,
cupcake.
Yeah, we're taking cues from like Mr. Bungle and
Right.
It's a creeping cupcake. Midnight. It's a
Indeed.
creeping cupcake.
It-
It
3 minutes
creepy.
cupcake. Indeed.
Cupcake. Yep, exactly. Yeah. So your cupcake friend there overhears a conversation between relatively young woman and an 30-something priestess. You realize that you've walked in the middle of a conversation where the woman is discussing her husband and her husband's inability to maintain employment and asking for the advice of the church. Wherein the priestess, suggests that the path to absolution requires determination, and that if her husband cannot muster that determination, then perhaps he should come to the church himself so that he can stand in Demira's light and gain that determination himself.
Be persuaded. Stand
If
in
it- if it's-
Demira's light and be persuaded.
Right, you get like a bracelet as you come in, and if it like lights up, you can.
Right. You get to stand in the light of Demira. Chosen.
So while that's going on, is the door up here a curtain as well?
No, that is a wooden door. And it is closed, but you can tell just by looking at the knob that it does not have a lock.
I think it's time to start doing sneaky stuff.
I'm checking out this flower bed for what it's worth.
I would probably tell everybody what kind of spider I am going to look like so they can identify when that spider appears.
Are you going to shout it? Because I won't hear it from where I am.
I would probably like.
Yeah, I would have figured you'd work that out before you
Yeah,
walked
I would've
in.
probably-
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So.
where I'm standing right now, if you were just like, all right, guys, this is what I'm going to be. I'm like, oh, this guy's cool. What's this statue about?
Drag me
No.
a spider token, please, or the spider from the list.
Closed. Why are the walls doors?
Yeah, there's the spider. Yeah, let me pull it into the combat tracker for you.
Why are the walls doors?
Yeah. You'd have to see what I'm doing, which you'd have to be looking at my stream. But the walls,
Are you talking? They're not doors; they're windows.
they're windows. Oh, are they floor to ceiling?
No, it's so that they don't block your line of sight, so you can see the statues.
Okay. But I'm correct in
You block your movement for collision. You see.
exactly. So I'm correct in assuming that this is a planter, right?
Yeah. It is in fact you see not actually at one big like planter bed, but rather a series of circular pots containing plants around a statue.
That's what I came here to check out was the plants. I want to look at the plants and I want to look at the statue and I want to see what those things are. So whenever it's that time to do that, that's what I came over there to do.
I'm
Yeah. So
going under the door.
all right, hold on. Let me
Yeah, no problem.
actually, you want to just park your Phalian token somewhere for me?
Yeah,
real
that's
quick,
what
like
I
in a
did.
corner.
Oh, by the way,
Open the door for you.
friends. My friends. It is time Raise a glass, one and all, to those that have gone to the Patreon address there in the chat channel and who have committed themselves and given of their own hard-earned so that myself and Snipe Hunter can do our projects with the X. Multiple X's, actually. Projects is anyway, and make art and do, I want to say science, but it's not science, but it's programming and things. And that's also art. Like, it's all art. We make art.
It's all art.
Right? And some people have given of their own so that we can continue to make art, and those people are bomb, and we celebrate them every week right about now. So to those folks, they should be chuffed, as it says in their contract, and understand that they are patrons of the arts, truly so. And
From the bottom of our hearts.
thanks.
Thank you.
This one's for you. Cheers.
Here's glory and good health.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, guys. Keep up the good work.
Whew, whew. I intend to do more good works. Actually, here, I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to dust off a couple pieces. There's a piece of work that is in progress that has nothing to do with the Skyward Star stuff. It's just, I was taken with an idea to make an art. And so I'm working on an art. It's not done yet, but I will show you the almost art, the art in progress. See? It's the art that I'm working on. Not done yet, but it will be done in the future. Anyway, that was an art.
The future, Ombois.
In the year 2022 or 3 or something. Man, that joke. Like, Conan, are you laughing at yourself? I'm sure you are. You're the type too. What? Thank you for a subscription. Subscribe for 48 months. Look at that. I got 48 months of sub from that.
4 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I know, right? Sick.
Yeah, 4 years this month.
How long have I been streaming?
Right?
Like, it's a long time. It's more than 4 years. It's like 7. The other day I got like a, one of the Facebook things. It's like, how many years ago today? And I was just like, what?
Right.
Uh-uh.
Okay, Phaleon. What you're
Thanks,
looking
everyone.
at is like a lecture hall, basically. You know, maybe like a side chapel, if you will.
Okay. Nobody's in it.
Nope, it is presently empty. You would guess that they probably use it for like family events, or you know, maybe like religious conferences. But like, you know, it's if you've got, you know, let's say what that's 3, 6, 9, 12. If you've got like 12 people who need to hear a lecture, this is the kind of space you'd use.
What are these things on the walls? Are they little mini fountain things?
Yeah, they're more founts. In fact, like it's pretty clear that there's a cleanliness thing in this religion. You know what I mean? A ritual purity thing going on.
Gotcha.
See, washing my face is probably a great idea.
Drink.
All
I
right.
don't know that you'd want to drink the holy water. That might not go over so well.
Maybe groom my whiskers, my ears.
Then while that going on and they're figuring out what they want to do with holy water,
So who is this cat?
check this door.
Is there a plaque?
Oh, who the statue is?
Well, there's 2 statues. I'm only looking at this one down here.
There are not plaques, no. This statue depicts, I mean, you would guess a paladin, judging from the fact that he's wearing armor.
I'm a paladin.
Right, but this depicts a holy warrior of some sort. His helmet is open-faced, you know, the visor is up, so you can look at his face, wherein a fine pointed goatee has been chiseled. Actually, a Van Dyke. Let's be accurate here.
We're in a church. Before you continue,
Yeah.
let me do that.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
In this game, it means I go boop, 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 and open up my thing, right?
Yeah. Exactly. It's a statue of Absolver Tullus, who was the first Absolver.
All right. There's an okay. The Tullus, the first absolver. Okay. How do I feel about that? Being that I'm a paladin, but I'm not an absolver type. I am a type redemption.
Yeah. Well, your personal D&D knowledge tells you that Absolver is not a paladin type. It's a title in this church.
Ah. Okay.
What you do know about absolvers from what you've seen so far, just to give you a reminder, is that absolvers are sort of like the for a pop culture comparison, they're like the Jedi of the church.
Right.
They're the high level holy warriors, kind of like third in line in the command structure. There's the high priest, there's the deacons, there's them.
Tullus is his name, right?
Yeah, Tullus. But like they're not what's the word I'm looking for? They're not, they're not inquisitors, they're not like secret police or anything. They're like
No, they're just badasses.
yeah, like in Bleach, they're the guys who, have Zompact toes.
Right, yeah. Okay, cool. Go ahead with Neuro's self, and I will make my way over here for the next time so I can check out who this is, because I'm pretty sure they're different people.
So,
They are different people.
are these doors or bookshelves here?
Those are windows.
Window. They're closed.
They are.
Because I see a thing to click because they're closed.
Yeah, I mean, if you open them, they would just look out on the top of the hill. But yeah,
But
they're
I don't
windows.
think a spider's going to open them. What's the splatter here?
Actually, I don't know why it decided that it was going to try to put 2 benches in a 5-foot tile. So just ignore those.
Oh,
I can't see it.
mean
All I see is darkness and the spider.
the orange splatter that looks like it's chained to the wall.
Oh, that's a torch.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah, it's funny in I think this was Dungeon Alchemist. I can't remember what program I made, but or I used to make it. But in that program, they're actually animated.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. So these are windows.
Correct.
Okay. And none of them have any like cracks or breaks. They're all pristine and good shape.
Yep.
Okie dokie. Makes sense. They would take care of those things. What about this door?
Assuming I can actually click on open, it
There
will
we
open.
go. Benches. A lot of benches. Have I passed a lot of people, or has it been pretty empty in most of these areas?
This hallway has actually been entirely empty.
Okay.
This hallway, the new hallway that you just entered, the wider hallway, is also at the moment empty. That said, you get the impression, from the fact that there are these kind of like big doors on the northern wall here. You get the impression that this space is probably used by like the priests rather than the public.
Ooh, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, headed for the cloister. It's me. I'm cloister the stupid.
Once dated this girl that had a cloister at no.
All right, so
yeah,
do I have to roll again?
Yeah, you do actually.
These are more
hold on, though.
Yeah.
windows.
Nope, these are doors.
Okay.
These are very sturdy wooden doors of a kind that can be barred from the inside.
Ooh.
They also have very strong locks. You would guess that they are locked, though, in your current form, there's no real way you could check other than to crawl into the lock itself.
They're
No,
barred
would
from the
not.
inside. They're not a prison cell. It's more like a hermitage or something.
Or something that gets protected and people take shifts on it.
Just barred from the inside. Like,
Yeah. You take shifts. Just being barred on the inside to make sure nobody gets in.
yeah.
Of course, if you get killed by a gazer that appears, then they're kind of like trying to get in.
Right. Oh, yeah, maybe, oh, shit, maybe on the other side of the thing, you bar it from the inside, then you do some hostile spell or some weird shit. And if it fails, well.
Yep.
Are you gonna roll religion again?
I am. Do. Oh, how about
Yeah, you can't figure out how to get a query to go through.
bloop, bloop, bloop. No, I just did this a second ago, though. No, who is this bloke? Who is this guy?
Ask someone else why it's broken, then it'll work the next time.
Right.
Who is this cunt?
Wow.
Cunt. Ah! Come on, like you've never used a search engine. I'll wait until it's my turn again, and then I will try again.
I don't think I've entered profanities in a search engine because I got frustrated with it, though. That's never happened.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel like I probably asked Google to get the fucking thing at
I
least.
100% have more than once. In fact, it's how I discovered there's a website called What the Fuck Should I Make for Dinner? And nowadays a book based on that person's website, because they made the website that was just a generator. And at one point I sat down in front of Google and I went, what the fuck should I make for dinner? Enter. And it went, boop, here's a website. And I went, what? And I clicked on it and said, why not make blank? And it showed me a recipe, or it actually gave me a thing. And I was like, wait, how do you make that? And clicked on it and it gave me a recipe. And I was like, holy fuck, this website. I think that website still exists, but now it's a book also. Yeah, what the fuck should I make for dinner? And yes, I absolutely write curse words into fucking search engines. If they're contextual search engines, especially if they're modern speech search engines. Come on, man. You're trying to look like you're fucking sentient, aren't you?
None of the brands that we've mentioned in the past 15 minutes are sponsors of either channel that's going right now.
Fact.
That is correct. Yep.
Though, if you are interested in sponsoring at least the DOP crew, I'm open to inquiry, depending on what it is you actually make, and you know.
Exactly. YOLO.
Yes.
Same kind of deal as Phalion's been getting. Hallway's mostly empty, but it definitely has a feel like it's not for the public, you know?
Yeah, I got that idea when I peeked through a window and I saw something maybe through some windows into this room.
Makes sense, because yeah, there are sightlines that would get you that. Yeah, so again, sturdy door, strong locks. Looks like it could be barred from the inside.
Could be, but is it?
Are you going to try the door?
Oh yeah, I checked the
It is not. Looks like it's an armory.
I go for the shiniest thing this roll tells me. It's not that shiny. Wait, I should get +3 to that. That's not a nature. What the fuck?
Yeah. What were you trying to roll there?
Perception. I tried to do it again. Here, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Well, fuck you.
Oh, well, that's better. Yeah, for what it's worth, you know, there's nothing that catches your eye. Most of it seems pretty mundane. Lots of pikes and spears, a few swords, some crossbows. There is like one big, like, you know, classical, like not classical, what's the word I'm looking for? Stereotypical mace, you know, with the spiked head ball thing. But like, honestly, it's like the kind of stuff that you would expect the, like, you know, the Beefeaters of London Tower to have.
Fuck, I expected shit to be
Peter.
cooler. Well, I don't have a knife. I'm gonna.
Never mind.
Do they have a couple of knives here, like in sheaths and shit?
Yeah, there are some daggers there for sure.
Yeah. I have no daggers, and the church is willing.
Yeah, so
Flowers are pretty.
you got to take a couple daggers.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna take like 2 daggers. Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me get those for you.
Yeah, I started off with a javelin and a whip. So,
Understandable. God, it's like really slow all of a sudden.
So
Okay,
is it realistic?
Daggers.
Is it realistic to think that I could roll on the statue again, or should I just move on to the altar?
Yeah, you haven't figured out how to retry. Like,
Right?
you haven't figured out the trick yet. You know what I mean?
That's kind of what I was guessing. Just to be fair with the systems, like, okay, so I missed with the statue. I just now, if you look in there, I missed with the nature roll to see what was up with the flowers. Instead, it's like, nope, pretty flowers, very clearly.
Right.
Rolled a 1, so it's like there's flowers. So all right, cool. Continue with everything else. I'm going to move forward towards the altar.
well,
This can
that was
take as much time as it
disappointing.
needs to.
Closes the door and goes down the hallway.
In fact, you know what? I will roll perception on my way to the altar. You can use your discretion because you're the dungeon master to see if there's any books in the pews, like Psalm. You've been in a church,
Right.
Oh
Yeah,
my
there
God.
are not.
oh, that's good because my perception is dick. So rock and roll.
All right.
Interesting. No books though. That's interesting. No psalm or hymn books.
Yeah, Verde. This room seems to be filled with treasure.
Whoa! And Verde is the one that found it.
Yeah, of note, there are several golden and exotic statues. All of them seem to depict demons.
Hot shit. Wait a minute. Didn't they say that the church was not the church?
So, Arcana roll to see if there's any magical thing that obviously I can't see. Insight to know that I should double check for any kind of traps or anything. And then perception to check out said traps and then go for the shiniest thing before I GTF out.
Holy crap.
Because I'm going to grab like one thing or maybe a handful of gold pieces and then fuck off.
I
Just
figure
like you
you're
would.
gonna get the scepter and holy hand grenade there.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. There's like a bright blue thing over here. I don't know if my character would see that. He doesn't exactly care about the demon iconography so much as of yet. He can check that out later.
Look there. Look there.
Yeah, for what it's worth, there are 2 glowing red gems and 1 scintillating blue gem on the base.
Oh my
of that
God.
statue over there.
Fucking Verde is gonna die.
Yeah, so your Arcana check tells you nothing. Your insight tells you that there are no obvious traps, but that doesn't rule out something more insidious. And in fact, your perception is like, come on, who leaves fucking gold in a pile like that?
Right. Your insight says your party members would kill you.
You do whatever your character's gonna do.
Exactly.
Right.
You do you.
You do
You're,
that.
you are Verde playing a librarian playing a barbarian. You
Right. That's hilarious.
you do what
A
you gotta,
librarian.
whatever it is.
Well,
you
definitely
feel
a
like,
librarian.
Makes the most sense that you personally would do in this situation.
You are quite literally intersectional Verde.
Come on, who leaves a pile of gems like laying on the floor?
Glowing ones. The glowing ones. They're like, yeah, this is not a trigger. Don't touch this. No.
I'm just saying, your perception says this whole room is kind of sus.
Yeah.
This whole room is trapped?
Sus.
Not
And-
trapped. Just it makes no fucking sense to be there.
Yeah. I think it's a trap. I'm not
Can I roll for
anywhere near
disbelief?
where you are. I'm not anywhere you are. Oh, roll for disbelief. How classic.
Because I'm the person who knows that.
How classic.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah, because you can use fucking table talk. Aha!
Yeah,
Absolutely.
let's use a wisdom saving throw for that.
That's perfect. I love that. No, I disbelieve.
Press X to doubt.
Dude, no, that's 100% like if we had been isekai in high school, like Snipe and I, that would be like we used to
Yep.
say that that was like a catchphrase for us.
Exactly.
Like we used to say that shit all the time. I disbelieve. That ain't real. That ain't real.
So yeah, throw a wisdom save. Yeah, man.
Nice. like that.
Yeah. So you're getting strong like temptation of the Christ vibes. Like to the point where when you look at it, sometimes it almost seems like it's not exactly even really there, like holodeck style.
Right. It's just yummy. Holodeck. Even. I
Yeah.
love that.
You don't have any like obvious like aha or anything like that. Like you don't dispel an illusion per se, but the more you look at it, the less real the contents of the room seem. Like to the point where, old school Planescape player, you're like, I don't even know if I'll be in that room if I step through the door.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's like, or if you've ever played that holographic coin-op game.
Anything in this room real?
Yeah, you're thinking probably not. Maybe though. I mean,
Not even those like scintillating gems over there?
yeah, no, they seem more sus than most. In fact,
Right.
the
Those are
most
definitely
solid,
not real.
right? The most solid thing that's in there is probably that painting that's on the western wall, which you can't see because of the camera angle on the map, but you could see for the door is a portrait of Demira,
Oh.
standing sort of like in a shaft of light, amidst a like sea of silhouetted but gaunt people reaching for her.
Is it Demura? I mean, I've seen the goddess.
Yeah, well, in the way that like maybe one would take glamour shots, but yeah, it's her. It's
You
it's
know what?
idealized.
This is probably where you would contribute that copper coin you were talking about.
You know what? I'm gonna throw in a gold coin rather than take one, and then I'm gonna close the door and promptly fucking leave that fucking temptation.
Okay.
You're not even going to see what happens when the coin lands?
Yeah, as you walk away though, you get a sense of like fulfillment, like yeah, that was a good thing I did. Yeah. And give yourself a point of inspiration.
Nice.
Where does that get marked on this sheet?
That's a really good question.
It's the INSP next to your name.
Oh, yep,
Oh,
there it is,
yeah.
up at the top. Yep.
Oh, I get a gold star.
Aww.
It's really big and like obvious too, so yeah, I won't forget.
Okay.
Gold hoard is never real. I say to myself as I walk off.
God damn it. I guess I don't know who the fuck that is either.
Oh, for what it's worth, you actually do. That's very clearly Demira.
Demira? That's who this is supposed to be like, but the dude said it's not really Demira, it's the hidden cult, right?
Well, he thinks that that the church may, in fact, like not be the Church of Demira at all.
Right, but be subverted.
Right, but yeah,
If not subverted, then at least hiding.
Right. Then the other possibility is that it is the Church of Demira, but it's been corrupted by some other external force. That said, that's a statue of Demira, you know, because you've literally met her.
Oh, that's right. Demir is who brought us here, right?
Correct.
Oh, well, in that case,
That's the one you should have been projecting your C word.
and that I don't feel quite the same way as you do, but then again, I'm a little fucking. Oh my god, really? This is where I am. Because understand,
She
it's
was
me.
pretty rude for what
That's
it's
true.
worth.
This is me at 17. Me at 17 absolutely would, by the way, go something fucking freaky weird like rabbit person. Also would be like, I don't know, not quite nihilistic, but like at 17, me, I would have been like, oh, all right.
Edge
All right.
what you're looking for.
And
Yeah,
nobody
you
was
are correct.
looking.
You are correct. I didn't have the wings, but I absolutely did have the blood eyes. So
Right.
anyway, do we have to do until it's my turn again, and then I will roll on this statue to figure out what's going on.
It's also Demira for what it's worth.
Oh shit!
Watts.
Okay.
Are you sending your cupcake to spy out everybody in there?
Yeah, seems like a good idea.
Okay. Your comment earlier about them being confessionals is kind of accurate. Like there are people who confess their doubts and fears and sins, but there are also like people who just ask the priests for advice. Like, yeah, it's like religious tech support.
Amazing.
There aren't any like conversations that you find particularly revealing. They're all pretty mundane. One thing that does seem worthy of note is a lot of people seem to be out of work, which it's a city. People who are out of work have problems. They come and talk to people who might be able to help. So maybe that's just bias, right? But given that that there's been a lot of trade in the city lately, it's interesting that most of these rooms someone has made some complaint about unemployment in one way or another, either a family member or themselves.
Are they predominantly human or non-human? Can I tell their affluence level?
Oh yeah, everybody who's being talked to here is poor, and they're all human.
Okay, and are all of the clergy folk just sitting in the red chair and the people are cycling in and out? Or are the clergy
Correct.
walking away to a certain location?
No, they're basically serving, like doing a shift. So they're staying in the rooms, basically. When people leave, they leave the curtain open, so that, when somebody comes in, they know which room to walk into and which one not. And then down there at the bottom, there's like a narrow but like relatively long closet. I didn't, bother to put stuff in it, but it's basically like cleaning supplies. Nothing major, like sundry shit.
Thank you, Alexa.
Go to bed.
Is this a
She'll do it twice.
stairwell that I'm in?
And it
yeah.
is just a empty place, not an actual.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it is in fact a stairwell. Stairs lead up and stairs lead down to a closed door. The stairs leading up do not have a door.
I'm gonna rush towards the door quietly, but I'm listening for which side seems to have the most activity, and I'm gonna go towards the side that doesn't have as much activity.
Got you. The stairwell seems relatively quiet. Like if you really stop and listen, you can guess that there are probably people at the top of the stairs somewhere.
Yikes! You gonna do that by yourself?
But the stairs leading down are completely silent.
What do I roll to dig through this altar here?
You can't actually dig through the altar because it's just a solid like marble table.
Okay, so there's what do I roll? Investigation, perhaps?
Oh yeah. Like if you want to get an idea of like why the things
Or
might be on
religion,
the table.
or
Yeah,
religion.
religion or investigation, exactly.
I'll go religion because I have the star, the little gold star and things. How about
Yeah, okay. So what you're basically looking at are the
you got your basic altar here too.
the instruments of absolution. There are two candles placed atop pristine red silk.
Nice.
The candles basically represent purity of mind and purity of body. There is an alabaster bowl on the table, which is known as the supplicant's plate, and a golden chalice on the table. The chalice contains water, which you would guess from its faint silver glow is more holy water.
Yeah.
And you know that in a ceremony similar to like Christian sacraments, those who seek absolution during a service will have will offer up the bowl, which will then take some of the holy water of Demira from the chalice, and then the supplicant will anoint themselves with that water, and thus
They don't sip it.
absolution. No, they do not.
They don't wash their face with it either.
It's gonna groom my whiskers.
No, they anoint themselves, middle of the forehead and the temples.
All right, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna anoint myself, as my info bank has shown me, because I'm sure it told me everything. I mean, I rolled a 20, right? So like it gave me a good info. I'm gonna be like, oh, all right, and I'm gonna dip my little paw into the water and do the anointing.
Okay. There is a faint gasp from somebody in the front row, but otherwise doesn't seem like anything happens.
Sick. Okay, cool.
Fucking rebel.
And this is Demira, right? This is a temple to Demira.
Correct. This is in fact the titular Church of Absolution.
Okay, cool. What's behind me over here?
Right. 1 second. So behind you is a sort of like portcullis isn't the right word. It's a sort of like entrance, like a cupola maybe. I don't know why that word keeps coming up because it's not the right fucking word. Anyway, there's like a little like awning that forms a sort of like archway with a heavy stone door at the end of it.
Oh, I see the door.
When I say like heavy stone door, I mean like Indiana Jones temple stone door, right?
Right.
Etched into the door is an image of Demira, with their typical palms out, you're all welcome in my embrace sort of pose. But
Indeed.
there's no obvious mechanism for opening that door either.
Should I do perception or religion to figure out if I can like just make the door open because I'm a paladin and Demira sent me here?
I mean, yeah, either of those would probably give you. Well, religion actually is probably the only one that would be useful.
Good. That's the one that I have the highest bonus in.
Yeah, so you don't get a system message. That said, it's pretty obvious that there's probably like a phrase or something that needs to be spoken.
Right.
In the speak friend and enter sense, because you literally can't find any way. Like there's not, there's
no keyhole. There's
no right.
I get it. And there's no words. There's no words around here, right?
Try
there are
open
no
the
words
door,
into
loser.
the door.
Exactly. And there's no text. And there's no text. I would have seen if there was a text on the altar, and there wasn't. You said there was only a chalice with water in it, and the information I got from the system.
Correct. Okay.
Well, Watson's on his way in here. All right. I will now. Go ahead.
Cupcake, and Yola. What are you guys doing over there in that stairwell?
Haven't come back to the spider in a little bit.
I
sorry,
heard
man.
that there were.
Hey, man, never split the party, but we did.
I heard that there were people up the stairwell, so I'm taking a peek down in the terrible basement. I mean, last time I did that in a church, it didn't go terribly wrong for me.
I was gonna say it kind of worked out, right?
Right.
And if I see the cupcake going up, I'll give it a nod, and then I'll also like give the finger in front of my lips hole kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, okay. So, for what it's worth, the door in front of you is locked.
Well, the rum.
Phalian, what's
Count
your next step?
The
I'm
vomit.
going through the door here.
Okay, so you're gonna go basically under the door into
Yeah.
the.
What any crack will do.
You know, that's a downward spiral, man.
Shush.
There were multiple ways I could have gone with that, and I went the lesser of many evils.
Another armory.
Okay, now I can get through.
Yep. So while everything here seems mundane, there seems to be a focus on like heavy weaponry. Mauls, pikes, plate mail.
Right.
That's over here where the
And
spider
it's
is.
all, decent soldierly human size. None of it's stuff that
Yeah, none of it's halfling sized. Yeah.
not for me, because I wouldn't be able to wear it anyway as a druid, but like Watson sized.
Yeah, no, probably not. Certainly not the armor. I mean, the weapons are weapons, but
Yeah, I was looking to just like snag him a breastplate or like a half plate's worth of set, but
You couldn't haul it back.
oh no, I would just pop
Yeah,
out
on
of
wild
wild
shape,
shape and stash it in the box.
Got it.
as you
Oh, that
say,
makes
yeah,
sense.
you have a dimensional pocket, so.
Yep.
Yeah, so
little
this
spider dragging back a fucking breastplate. He's like,
clunk 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 clunk. Yeah, that's not. All right, and I see there's a couple of those big long mace, the two-handed clubberinos over there on the floor.
Yep.
So yeah, this seems like the sort of place where if something big comes to town, they all rush into here. They get strapped into their armor. They grab their spear. They grab their mace, and they rush out. So good to know. And table knowledge, of course, that makes sense that there's armories on both sides. So then I would just kind of
It makes them feel heavily militarized, but sure.
Well, this is kind of like a headquarters-y place.
And to be fair, you have met pseudo-military members of this organization already, so. Yeah, so it's a room full of sweet treasure. Like there's even you'd swear an Ark of the Covenant over there.
what?
Everything looks pretty well, like all the chests and everything look pretty well sealed from here.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're telling me you're going to be prevented from the temptation by the fact that you're a spider and you couldn't possibly haul your shit back?
Yeah, I mean there are not quite Scrooge McDuck levels of gold on the floor, but that's the only like loose treasure. Everything else seems to be secured in those chests.
Kind of what I'm coming in
What's
telling myself is I'm going to try to climb through the locks or any cracks in the chests, and I'm looking to see if there's documents in any. I don't care about treasure. Treasure will come when I earn it. I'm looking for information right now, and if there's some hidden in this cache somewhere, that's helpful.
Right.
So with that in mind,
yeah, as you step into the room, everything seems quiet. You realize that you couldn't see it, from under the door, but as you cleared the doorway, there is an onyx statue over there to the east of a demon. As you move towards the chests to go look at them, you realize that the locks don't seem to actually have keyholes. In fact, you have no idea how these locks open, and the chests seem to be sealed very tightly. Like you can't seem to find anywhere that you could wedge yourself in.
All right. Well, then, if that's the case, I'd probably just go under the door from whence I came. Unless it stops me.
Yeah, could you make a wisdom saving throw for me?
Sure. That would just be my normal one. That's
Every now
abilities.
Sirenscape gets the drama without me doing anything.
Right,
Like-
totally.
Make the roll, and the music goes da-da! It's like, oh, thank you, Sirenscape. Well done.
Yeah, okay. As you pass through the door, you seem to be fine for what it's worth. You notice though that there's like a palpable change in air pressure as you cross the threshold that you didn't notice when you stepped inside. No real explanation for it, but it's almost like the room was like over pressured, you know, like a pressure was let off your skull as you stepped through, your carapace in your case.
I see. Interesting.
Your cannabis.
Well,
Indeed.
no information there, but that's fine. Seems a little shady with the demon statues. All right. And there's
Yep, through the doorway is basically a stairwell. Stairs down and stairs up.
Well, we talked about
The stairs down lead immediately to a closed wooden door.
when we were let in before. Was it one of these side paths that we went into?
No.
Did we even go through the front door when we were let in before?
Yeah, you guys came in through the front door.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess let's see what the door upstairs looks like. I'm guessing there's a door here.
There actually isn't. It's it looks like it's just, what's what I'm looking for? Straight staircase for about 20 feet. To be fair, in reality, it would probably like spiral, but I didn't want to build a spiral staircase. It was kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But basically, it's stairs leading up.
I mean, everything I'm seeing here, I'm just, I understand it looks all chunky, and it'd be a lot more ornate if the kits had the things for it. So just pretend it's fancy.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so that leads up to the second floor. I will have to open that map. Give me a second. We're also probably getting to a point where we want to wrap up.
Yeah,
For
this
the night.
wouldn't be a bad time to wrap things up for the moment.
Yeah, let's do that. Actually, let's
right.
let's save everybody the trouble of downloading another big ass map.
Love it. Good plan, sir.
Yeah, I sneaked my way back to confessional. Went to sit down.
Did you sit in one of the red seats?
Of course not. I'm a supplicant.
I'm a supplicant.
I've just been feeling kind of down lately. Dead inside.
That'd be funny, except that my therapist actually canceled my appointment because she was sick.
Oof.
Well, it'd be funny because Yolo's dead.
Yeah.
Inside.
Characters.
Actually,
Actually, yes.
dead inside. Indeed.
More on the outside, I mean, I seem to be driven by something on the inside.
That's true. That's true.
Agreed.
All right, guys.
It's
Well,
true.
thanks for playing.
Well, thanks for being the dungeon master.
Good stuff here.
Absolutely.
Let's all
I
celebrate
appreciate
Snipe
it.
Hunter
Thank
for a
you.
moment. Yay, Snipe Hunter!
Oh,
For sure.
Here, hold on. Let me do it even better.
Nice.
Go in. No, that wasn't the right one. This is the right one.
There you go.
There we go. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for dungeon mastering.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Everybody in chat, thanks for watching.
Thanks everyone who showed up. Indeed. And if you haven't smashed the follow, the little bell and all that crap, look, dude, I totally understand if you undo the bell. You don't have to worry about the bell. But the follow, please. Like, love, beat it. Tip of the dope hat to everybody. It's time for credits, and here we go.
Good night.